Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's Minor League Cricket launch press conference. Welcome, I'm Tom Dunmore, Vice President of Marketing for Major League Cricket. And joining me today, moderating this, will be Andrew Leonard from USA Cricket. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks very much, Tom. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for joining us wherever you are. I know we have media from across the globe here with us today, which is appropriate for the world's second most popular sport, a sport that we all know has millions of followers around the world and also in the United States. And that's what's so exciting today as we take a giant step towards building that global sport here in the United States. Later this month, on July 31st, when the first ball is bowled, we will launch the most extensive cricket competition in the history of the United States. We're going to have over 400 matches taking place, 27 teams playing in 21 cities, and more than 400 players taking part. We are very excited to announce today that this will be the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sling TV. Unbelievable honor for us to bring those partners into the cricket community and to launch this competition this summer. I am going to run a short video to get us excited for what's to come.
27 teams, 21 cities, over 200 games, one T20 national champion. A new era of American cricket starts now. The inaugural Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sling takes place nationwide this summer. Watch live on willow.tv.
Perfect. Andrew, over to you.
Fantastic. Really good way to start things. And I think if that doesn't get you excited for what is ahead in the transformative nature of minor league cricket for the sport right the way across America, I don't think anything will. So delighted you're all joining us here today from all the way around the world. We've had representatives from all over the cricketing world and right here in America to come and join us for this announcement today. I'd like to introduce you to our panel. And we've got quite a lengthy list, and we'll make sure that you hear from all of them today. Samir Mehta, the co-founder of Major League Cricket, Vijay Srinivasan, also the co-founder. Tom Dunmore, you've already met. We've got Justin Gill, the tournament director for Major League Cricket. Ian Higgins, the CEO of USA Cricket. And then some players, some of the stars who will be playing here in minor league cricket in 2021. We've got Corey Anderson, the New Zealander who, of course, represented New Zealand at the Cricket World Cup final in 2015, the former holder of the world's fastest century in ODI cricket of all time, Sami Aslan, the ex-Pakistan international, and some local stars, the Team USA captain, that's Sarab Netravalkar, and one of the young stars, Ali Sheikh, from the USA under-19 team. Also, two really important representatives of our sponsors, and a key part of the announcements today. We're really glad to have joining us both Mani Banzi, the Vice President for Toyota Logistics Services in Toyota Motor North America, and also Liz Reamer-Surma, the Vice President of Sling TV International Programming. So you're all very welcome. It's a very lengthy panel. We've got a lot of people to hear from. And for all the journalists who are here on the call today, please, if you could ask your questions via the chat function here directly on Zoom to either myself or Tom directly, you can choose that by when you get the drop down, just selecting my name, Andrew Leonard, or Tom Dunmore, and asking us those questions. I'll ensure that they're asked within the next 45 minutes to hour or so. So what we might do is start off with a couple of questions that we've already got preset. And the first one is to go to Samir Mehta, who is the co-founder of Major League Cricket. And the question is as follows. With this new framework established for the sport with the launch of minor league cricket, how important is the support shown by the partners Toyota and Sling TV to invest in the most extensive competition to take place in American cricket history and for its future growth?
Yeah, so thanks, Andrew. No, this is incredibly important and historic. Toyota and Sling have been supporting and sponsoring cricket for several years now, and mainly through their broadcast of international cricket beamed to audiences in the US. And they've been very committed. But when they heard about the first ever professional city versus city franchise tournament in the US being launched in this manner, they jumped on board, and we completely appreciate the support. This means the world to local fans, to players, to the communities that love cricket. and their embrace of local cricket happening on the ground, happening in our cities, happening with our local players, I'm sure will be reciprocated by the local fans. Thanks.
Thank you, Samir. On to Vijay Srinivasan, also the co-founder of Major League Cricket. From a broadcast perspective, Vijay, how significant is the partnership with Sling TV to help minor league cricket reach communities of cricket lovers and to grow the game of cricket here in America by reaching new fans?
Yeah, Andrew. Sling TV especially has been synonymous as a platform for the broadcast of world-class cricket here in the US for many years. So cricket fans associate Sling TV with the best cricket from all around the world. So this commitment shown to minor league cricket by Sling TV is significant, as this nationwide competition will build foundation for establishing the US as a home for world-class cricket. So having Sling on board is crucial for us, and we know how important broadcast partners in this in the domain of sports are important to have on board so early and from the stage that we are in. So having Sling on board is crucial, I think, for the trajectory that we see for both minor league and major league cricket.
It's always the first question we get on social media, isn't it? When's it going to be live streamed? How are we going to be able to tune in and see it? Next question for Justin Gill, who's the tournament director. This one, cricket has a longer history than many people may realize here in the United States. This summer's tournament is going to make history, though, as the most extensive and largest, most comprehensive cricket tournament ever run in the United States. How do you see this contributing to the development of players across the country? And how is a tournament on this scale, or how will a tournament on this scale be organized?
Yeah, no pressure there, Andrew. It's a big question. A lot of work by a lot of committed people so far. There's a long way to go. It's very much the start of the journey. This isn't possible without 27 passionate owner groups, and their primary reason for doing this is they love cricket. They want to grow cricket. Without USA Cricket support, we can't do it. The umpires, scorers, volunteers, and so many people at the grassroots level across the country who are chipping in now are crucial to this. Logistically, it's tough. If we had 27 established teams who own their own grounds, it would be tough, but we're starting from scratch. I think 4 teams own their grounds. That's a big challenge, infrastructure, as we all know, and we're working really hard on that. So, you know, we've probably got 30 sites across the country we're looking at now in terms of turf, in terms of great outfields, so players can dive and not worry about getting cut up and all that sort of stuff. So that's that part. What we're trying to do from a player perspective is provide a competitive environment, you know, for the best and emerging players across the country playing for a consecutive 8 to 10 week. That's very different to coming up on a weekend and, you know, that consistency, which we can't get now. The experience of playing in different environments across the country, which doesn't happen now. So that's a pathway to representative honours. That's getting younger players playing with senior players, you know, on the field, also mixing off the field. And it's also building the domestic players for Major League, so they're ready when it comes.
Thank you very much, Justin. Next is for the first of our sponsors and the title sponsor, and that's for Manny Banzi. Manny, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for your partnership and your support of the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. I know the American cricket community in particular is thrilled to welcome Toyota to our family. How excited are you to link up with minor league cricket and make history with this inaugural championship that is going to be taking place across the country this summer from July 31st onwards?
Hey, Andrew, I'm ready to play ball. You know, again, this is awesome. You know, I have to give a hats off to Samir, Vijay, Ian, Justin, and all the people behind the scene working on it to bring it to this grand scale. You know, I still remember back in 90s when I was collecting some funds with my friends to just create a cricket pitch, working with a city to secure a field that we could build on and keep it that way. So again, I'm sure it was hard effort, long period of meetings and working through it to bring it at the grand scale. And as a Toyota, it is an honor for us to bring the sport where people really love, right? I'm really excited about the current players. I'm sure this team is such a diverse team, bringing talents not only from the Southeast Asian countries, but also from the Caribbeans, the UK, Europe, and other parts of the world, Australia, England. As it's a very simple story. I was on a business trip last week, And the Uber person with all our masks couldn't recognize and said, "Hey, I hear an accent. Where are you from?" I said, "From India." And she said, "Oh, we have something in common." And I'm trying to figure out, do I know some personal relations? She said, "No, cricket." And she was from Caribbean islands, just to show that how much people who've been here for a long time are have that hunger. So again, this is awesome. I'm happy for the players to see them flourish, and also the generations to come through it, right? And a big thank you to Sling TV, and as you guys mentioned, without having a good partnership all around, to take in a very competitive environment to take the sport at a national level, it is just exciting all around for me. Can't wait for the first game.
Manny, thank you so much. We echo those thoughts wholeheartedly. And the next question is for Liz from Sling TV, who you just referred to there. Liz, cricket's the world's second most popular sport, and there's millions of fans right the way across the United States. It's one of the biggest cricket markets in the world. Many people don't know that. And they follow the game all around the world. Willow TV is available on Sling, and it's one of the homes for cricket fans in the United States. What's made it so important for Sling TV to support this championship and grow the game domestically here in America?
Well, it's important for us primarily because it's great business. We have a really loyal and enthusiastic fan base that is from multiple diasporas. There's a big portion of it that's the South Asian diaspora. They are really, truly passionate. They drive engagement on our platform. We see the viewership happen not just with first generation expats and immigrants, but down to second and third generation. That's really exciting because that means that it becomes a tradition and a tradition within families in the US. We also are really make being out in the community a part of what we do in terms of engaging with our fans. So we're excited to see the engagement at a grassroots level in the US as well. That's something that's going to be really, truly exciting. And then the final thing is we want to actually also be able to expand this to our domestic audiences, right? Sling TV not only focuses on the South Asian diaspora and other diasporas, but we also have a really substantial domestic audience who we are looking forward to exposing to this sport for potentially the first time. So that for us is really tremendously exciting. It's important for us to see the sport continue to grow in the US.
Couldn't echo those thoughts anymore as well. Let's grow the game all the way across America. Next question is for the USA Cricket CEO, Ian Higgins. Ian, the USA Cricket Foundational Plan has laid out a roadmap to develop the sport to achieve full member status and to make cricket a mainstream sport in the United States that Liz was just mentioning as well. How significant is this launch of Toyota Minor League Cricket, the launch of the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sling TV in helping to achieve that vision?
Thank you, Andrew, and good morning, everybody. The USA Cricket Board set out its foundational plan last year, and as you said, it captures two main objectives. One is to make cricket mainstream in this country, and then for USA Cricket to play a really important role on the international stage and ultimately to become a full member of the ICC. And when you step back and you think about the roadmap that we need to put in place to get from where we are now to where we want to be in 2030, and you think about all the bits of the puzzle that needs to get put in place for us to achieve that vision, one thing that keeps coming up in conversations with stakeholders all across the country, and it's obvious really, but one thing that comes up is that really robust, strong domestic cricket structure. And you just need to compare the cricket structures that exist in full member countries, more mature countries that we're seeking to emulate for a short period of time. And you see that they have these domestic cricket structures, which can help drive the standard of cricket in the country. It can help attract people into the sport and retain people in the sport. And you contrast that with what we have at the moment, where we have, thanks to the efforts of many administrators and volunteers and league administrators over the course of a number of years, long periods of time in some cases, we've got a very localized league structure that sits it's very fragmented and it isn't particularly joined up across the country at the moment, where people are playing cricket on facilities in different conditions and are sometimes unable to kind of compare and contrast results and to coordinate a centrally domestic structure that is as comprehensive as what we are seeking to do today and what we're announcing to do today really is a massive effort for Toyota, for Sling, for our partners at MLC. And The reason it hasn't happened to this point in time is because of geographical barriers, because of the resourcing challenges, financial challenges. And so it really is a momentous occasion today for us to be able to sit here and say, we've been able to tackle all of those challenges. We've been able to put together a robust domestic cricket season, a domestic cricket tournament upon which the future growth of USA cricket and Major League Cricket and minor league cricket can be built and our vision can be achieved. And I'm very grateful to our partners at MLC, Sling and Toyota for enabling us to stay on track to achieve that 2030 vision.
Ian, thanks so much. And hopefully that internet just breaking out there for a moment didn't affect people too much. Maybe time to hear from the players now. And let's go over to Sami Aslam. Sami, you've come from overseas to the United States reasonably recently to play and coach cricket here in America. What have your observations been about the enthusiasm for the game, and how much are you looking forward to getting involved in the minor league cricket championship?
I think there is a great enthusiasm in the players, especially the local players, for this minor league, as this will be the biggest tournament in USA. And I think this will raise the bar of competition and growth in USA, especially in the national team. This tournament will provide a great opportunity to all the players. And I think they will learn a lot, as all the teams, like there will be 27 teams that will play over 10 weeks. So they will learn a lot from international players. Every team has 2 or 3 international players that are coming from every region of cricketing nation, like Sri Lanka, India, West Indies, from every team. So I think there is a great opportunity for the players to play and learn.
Thank you, Sami. On to Corey Anderson now. Corey, obviously, famously a World Cup finalist yourself. You've been in America quite a while now, family connections here now in America. We've heard how thrilled everyone is about the inaugural Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sling TV. Let's hear from you as you're ready to get going in the tournament and taking part. Have you been impressed by the standard of cricket since you've arrived here in America?
Yeah, I have been. Hi, everyone, to start off. Yeah, it's been fantastic to know that the fan base here in America has been off the charts to what I thought it would probably be. But to now have a system and a pathway to be able to play cricket as a profession here. It's our jobs, it's USA Cricket and MLC, with the help from obviously Toyota and Sling TV. We're trying to create a pathway for the rest of the USA with cricket to make it as a career. So I'm extremely excited. I think the level of it is very, very good, and it will only get better as more players join, and hopefully we can find those guys who a little bit polish off the diamond, and hopefully we can get some good cricketers coming through the system as well. So that's the thing I think I'm most looking forward to, and traveling around the States and being able to catch a glimpse of some of these cricketers that have been unseen and unfound. So it's extremely exciting times.
Thank you, Corey. On to Sarab Netravalkar, the Team USA captain. Sarab, it's been a little while since America's been on the pitch, obviously with this ongoing COVID pandemic. How important is this competition to the long-term growth of American cricketers and to the future of Team USA?
Hi, Andrew. Hi, everyone. The entire cricketing community has been eagerly waiting for a platform like this and of this nationwide scale. And it's going to help the cricket community in the following ways. I think firstly, the local aspiring cricketers get that major nationwide platform to showcase their talents and to knock the doors for major league and potentially the national team. And secondly, I think the inclusion of the youth in each minor league team is going to help greatly to bridge that gap, where it provides a clear pathway for youngsters to potentially graduate into the senior team. And thirdly, it helps national players actually play alongside professionals who've played their cricket across the globe. And it helps us to learn from each other and raise the standard of the game in general. So it's a great and exciting time for USA Cricket, and really looking forward to taking part in the tournament. And I'd like to thank the sponsors again and to convey my best wishes to MLC.
There are really beautiful sentiments there, particularly the youth and the future of the game across America. And that's a big, big part of minor league cricket and the platforms and the pathways that are being developed to allow the next generation through. So let's hear from one of that next generation, Ali Sheikh, who was starring at the USA Cricket Under-19 Championships just a couple of months ago there in Texas. Ali, you've grown up in the United States. How important is it to you to have this kind of high-level competition that's going to be provided by the Toyota Minor League Championship presented by Sling TV?
Of course, it is really important to me. As growing up in the United States, we don't have that kind of high-level exposure to cricket as other countries like South Africa, India, and Australia have. So obviously playing alongside international players like Corey Anderson and playing against international players like Sami Aslam, it'll really help the youth develop their game in all aspects. And I'm just really looking forward to playing the minor league this season, playing high-level competition, and I'm really excited to be here.
Well, I don't think anyone could argue with that. I'm kind of excited to be here myself, Ali. I wish I was out there on the pitch with you. Okay, that's got it for the formal question, guys. For any journalists that are on, please just feel free to send direct messages through into the group chat. You can either send them directly to Tom or to myself, and we'll make sure they get read out now over the course of the next 30 minutes or so. It's open season, no holds barred. We'll make sure that every question gets asked. But little surprise at the first questions for some of the players. Corey, I think we might have quite a few for you. So we're going to start with this one from John Henry Wilson. He's from Cape Town, South Africa, and clubcricket.co.za. And he's would like to ask you the following. Corey, you've played in several different tournaments domestically around the world, the IPL, CPL, PSL, and they don't come with a qualification tournament in any way or sorts. Major League Cricket does down the line, maybe via minor league cricket. Could you just give him a bit of a sense as to what minor league cricket's going to mean for the local players to provide a pathway on what is going to be different circumstances, different wickets across the country, and how they're going to use those experiences in minor league cricket to maybe go on to even bigger stages in the future?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a long question, but it's a good question. Look, there's obviously a ton of cricketers and young cricketers, and I think obviously coming across and seeing some of the youth, in some of these camps that we've had with Major League Cricket and things like that, it's been phenomenal to see the talent, and that's the exciting part, is that those players now have an opportunity to progress their careers instead of I guess getting to an under-19 level or being 22, 23 and having to find their way into the workforce and give cricket up. This has now created a massive opportunity to not only make USA cricket stronger, but to keep more people in the game of cricket as well. I think that gets lost massively here. So the facilities around the country are getting better. There's obviously a lot of teething issues and things like that, but again, we're starting a massive overhaul basically to try and get this thing going. And the USA is a massive place comparatively to a lot of the other countries that play cricket, so it does take a little bit longer than normal, but with the team that we have and with USA Cricket and Major League Cricket and obviously Toyota and Sling TV, hopefully that can be sped up a little bit and we can start producing the cricketers that this country can.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll go over to some of the other questions now. The next one I'm going to go to is going to come from Asif Jamil. This is from ARY Digital. Perhaps Samir, you might like to pick this one up. He was saying that there's been many cricket leagues announced in the past here in America, but he was just asking about the legitimacy of this league and how it's sanctioned and how that sanctioning works with USA Cricket and your partnership with USA Cricket.
Yeah, so this league is sanctioned exclusively by USA Cricket, who in turn are sanctioned by the ICC. This is when we had discussions with USA Cricket about 2 years back. When we got our license from USA Cricket, one of their big requirements was that you will not just invest in top level cricket, you will invest in all of cricket, which means really build a foundational pathway through which players can get to showcase their talents and go to the next level. And that's why minor league cricket was what we focused on first before we focused on anything else. We said, let's build grounds, let's build infrastructure, and let's build a very robust domestic competition that is, again, built along the lines of franchise cricket. So it's city versus city. It's private team ownership. It's a lot of investment from private team owners. It's a lot of investment from Major League Cricket towards infrastructure, streaming, prize money, and so on. But let's give this some heft. The budget for this year's minor league is about $4 million between us and the private operators of the teams. We focused a lot on governance. We focused a lot on the rules of the tournament. We've made sure that it can be a healthy mix of amateur players, international players, and especially youth. And there are mandated slots for everyone. But the way it's been structured and the way we've taken on board advice from the local leagues, advice from USA Cricket, and advice from our commercial partners and our and the local team owners, we believe we've come to an outcome where this league should represent the ultimate pathway for any amateur player, any international player, or any youth to make the next step. The tournament will be extremely robust, very competitive. You've seen the squads of some of the teams. This is something that I think the entire community is looking very excitedly towards. But if we can achieve the main objective, which is give good cricket to everyone, engage fans and communities, engage our sponsors, and make this a true pathway for the youth and the amateur players in the country, we would have done a bit. We saw a bit of that last year, which was extremely encouraging in a COVID season, in a truncated COVID season that was an exhibition season. This year is the real deal. Thanks.
The real deal. Like to hear that. Next question I think this may be for Justin from Nate Hayes of Emerging Cricket. He's just asking, some MILC teams have not yet named either a wildcard slot or a marquee player yet. Are these slots mandatory, or can teams begin the season without those positions being filled?
Yeah, thanks, Nate. Good question. Like everyone, we're having some issues with visas. These players in marquee slots that haven't been named are permanently relocating to the USA. So with travel restrictions, with some countries open, some closed, some consulate appointments, we're just having delays. So yes, the short answer is they will be filled. We expect by mid-July that should be done.
Always like a short answer. Very good, Justin. Next question is going to come from Smith Patel. And this question is going to be for the Toyota sponsor, for Matty. It's actually a question relating to some of the overseas sponsorships of cricket from Toyota themselves. So it's saying Toyota Australia, through its Toyota Cricket for Good raffle, has raised 1.7 million Australian dollars for local cricket clubs since 2012. Now, given your association with minor league cricket, which is in essence a grassroots tournament too, and the challenges for the minor league clubs and cricketers across the country in America face in terms of infrastructure, do you plan on doing more in terms of your support for the game into the future and more for the grassroots cricket, just like Toyota Australia have done?
A great question. I wish I could tell you right now how much we will do it, but at this point, the excitement is all about getting this league at the national, international level. And as this league grows in and our fans and players starts to enjoy it, definitely we'll be very excited to continue to grow our support for this tournament. And I'm going to count on Liz to make it a big splash, and we will just have people pouring all over the place just to watch cricket down until the end. We'll make sure that minor leagues and major leagues, as Sunil mentioned, the foundation is strong enough, and it is going to stay here and continue to flourish in North America. So thank you.
Sounds like a very good plan, Manny. We'll get cricket fans in right the way across all 27 teams across the country. Next question for Ian Higgins, CEO of USA Cricket. This is coming again from Nate. Sorry, it's a follow-up question. And he's asking, does USA Cricket plan on using its sanctioning authority to help fortify the Major League Cricket brand and the Minor League Cricket brand and USA Cricket's own events against the degradation of some domestic competitions? He says that some of the local competitions continually advertise their tournaments as national championships or World Series of cricket, but how are you going to be able to protect the minor league brand and the Major League Cricket brand?
Andrew, I think Ian may be having a technical issue, so perhaps he's coming
to
the next one.
Hi, Andrew. Sorry about that. If I understood the question right, I think that it was about how are we going to make sure that we fortify the brands of minor league cricket and Major League Cricket so that they can play the important role that we've already identified that they are going to play within the domestic structure in the USA. I think part of the answer to that is when we granted investment that they would have to bring to the table in order to put these tournaments on, to develop the infrastructure that's going to sit around the success of these tournaments. And in order for them to be able to go out and raise that capital and to invest in financial and human resources necessary, they needed to make sure that these tournaments would stand out from every other domestic tournament that's played in the USA. And so we have given them an exclusive right to run tournaments of this size and scale and nature right across the country. And so whilst there are many other domestic cricket tournaments, and by the way, we need to nurture and support and make sure that those cricket tournaments continue to flourish, because it's also important that we create as many opportunities for players to play cricket in this country at a competitive level. But whilst there are so many of those tournaments, none of those will be sanctioned by USA Cricket if they start to creep into the window of exclusivity that we have granted to minor league cricket and ultimately to Major League Cricket as well. So we're very supportive of the efforts of MLC. We recognize the investment that is being made by MLC and its partners into these competitions, and we want to stand firmly behind those and make sure that these are the two premium domestic T20 competitions that exist in this country moving forward.
Thank you very much, Ian. The next question is for Corey, just before we might lose him. So good to get this one in from Tristan Lafayette of Forbes magazine. He wants to ask, how important was it for you to be part of this historic inaugural competition? What standard are you expecting from the play of the Toyota Minor League Championship presented by Sling TV? And do you hope to mentor young American players?
Yeah, combination of everything, really. I think the level will be high. From what I saw last year in our exhibition games, there was some great talent. There was some extremely good talent floating around the States. It just hasn't been, I guess, nurtured in the way that it could. But again, with minor league cricket, this should make it a little bit more easier to get that done. So it's going to be exciting. I think the whole process of looking after some of the young ones coming through the system and I guess sharing my experiences and my knowledge of the game, not only on the field but off the field as well, makes a big impact for what we've got. And again, I said it earlier, but the States is such a big place. It'll take a lot of us to fill those roles. And Sammy and Surab, floating around in their regions as well, amongst many others from Major League Cricket as well, and also the leaders in the minor league stuff. It's going to take a lot of people just to help mentor kids through it and, learn the game, understand the way of, I guess, becoming a professional cricketer. But it's the exciting part. I think, what we're doing here is we're creating a legacy. And I think that's the exciting part of what's coming now and also in the future as well.
Yeah, very well said, Corey. Sammy, perhaps the same question to you. Have you been impressed by the standard of cricket you've seen so far in America? And are you hoping to mentor and help bring along that next generation of American cricketers?
Yeah, I think the standard of cricket is really good. I have played some tournaments, and in the minor league, as this will be the biggest tournament, I think the level of cricket will be really good. And alongside playing cricket, it will be a main goal to motivate players, tell about the game awareness, especially how to play the game. So it will be good for the players as well, as they will play alongside national players as Corey and Saurabh. These players, they will motivate the players, and like I said, it will bring the competition in the national team as well. And then the national team can, there will be players in the line after the minor league who will perform really well.
Yeah, hopefully America can keep rising up those rankings from ICC Cricket World Cup League 2, where they're right up towards the top of the table at the moment. And on that, maybe on to Saurav Netravalkar, the Team USA captain. Saurav, the players coming in from overseas, both in terms of the wildcard players and the MLC players coming in for the longer term, are they going to help raise the standard? Are you pleased to see them coming in?
I mean, absolutely. Some of the guys who have come in are world-class cricketers and have played top quality cricket in their countries. And just sharing the dressing room with them is very beneficial for local cricketers. First of all, to look up to them as role models, them being as mentors to youths, And for national team players like us, because every guy comes with a different set of experiences, have grown up learning cricket in a different way. They react to different situations in different ways, and that helps us learn from each other and raise the bar in general of cricket. So it's really exciting.
Thank you, Saurav. Gaurav, I'll come to your question. Maybe if you could just type that across on the chat, we'll make sure that you can ask your question in via myself. Question, Justin, maybe you could pick this one up. This is always the hot topic with any cricket competition or any new competition that's coming up. My question to the organisers and Sling, maybe Liz might jump in at some point as well on this. Are the matches going to be live on Sling for the public to be able to see, and what's going to happen with the live streaming?
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Obviously, the scale of what we're trying to do is big, 203 matches. We're going to try and stream most of those. There'll be 2 levels of coverage. We've identified probably 10 premium stream grounds, which will be multiple cameras and commentary. And our primary focus will be on that. That will go out through Willow and some various YouTube sort of minor league channels. But stay tuned for more information, but we're really excited about it. It's something we've invested a lot in. Currently across the country, I think the quality of stream is improving rapidly, but it's not where it is in some other countries. So as I said at the start, we're learning every day, and streaming is a big part of that. We are investing a lot of money and getting the equipment and the people in to help us do that, so we can show the game to everyone across the country and who's watching around the world.
Yeah, thank you very much. Liz, do you want to maybe jump in briefly on that as well?
Yeah, I mean, we are looking for, in referencing the stream quality, we're not going to be having all of the matches, but certainly we're looking at the finals to be on Sling TV. Anything where we see an opportunity to put it on Willow Extra, on Sling TV or on Willow, we will. We want that engagement there. We also are really routinely out in these communities where the teams will be playing. So it's important for us as well to have an on-ground presence to connect with fans as well. So every angle in which we can expose the sport to more people, we will do it, because we are very excited about the growth and the engagement that this will bring to our platform.
Thank you so much, Liz. And just to clarify one thing there for some of the journalists who may have joined, it's 21 cities, 27 teams, over 200 matches. It's a new era for American cricket from July 31st to October 3rd. Some of those games, of course, live on Willow TV for the Toyota Minor League Championship presented by Sling TV. And those games, I think Justin was referring to them there, some of them will be live streamed, not all of them, of course. But we'll keep going with the questions. Question now from Smith Patel. Perhaps Samir, maybe you might like to pick this one up. What are some of the marketing efforts that Major League Cricket will be undertaking to get spectators into the ground, since it's a full season for the first time for this minor league cricket?
Yeah, no, this one's really for Tom, but I'll at least say the first few parts, which is we'll be spending some capital obviously in local marketing. We'll be spending some dollars on national marketing, but the real marketing is going to come from the individual team owners and us amplifying their efforts. And the team owners really come from their communities. They've been part of their communities. They've run clubs. They typically are very deeply involved with the local leagues. And for us, it's all about getting the local leagues and the local communities, the local clubs, the local youth excited, whether it's the local academies, the youth leagues. We have to start there. All of these fans in the US have previously been fans of an India or a Pakistan or a West Indies or a Sri Lanka, watching their cricket played in World Cups or their players play in the IPL and so on. This is the first time they get to root for your local domestic team. You get to root for Philadelphia, you get to root for Boston, you get to root for Houston. And you have players who are living locally. In some cases, international stars who are now living locally. Whether it's Saurabh living in the Bay Area, or Corey living in Dallas, or Sami who's made his home in Fremont, Bay Area. This is all about wearing a local shirt, going out there, playing a local competition, representing your city. It's a very tried and tested method in American sport, and we just want to take the same template, focus very heavily on local community-based marketing, community-based efforts, We'll be making a lot of efforts to get fans out to games. That's one of our biggest challenges, in the sense informing the local fans that this is happening, encouraging them to go to the local games. Marketing to them is what's going to be key for us. So hyper local marketing efforts and amplifying what the local team owners are doing, contributing dollars alongside them wherever it takes, is going to be key for us. I mean, a lot of things will happen nationally, but just the short answer to your question is we're going to be hyper local. It's 27 teams, 27 different communities, 27 cities. We just want to be where the fans are. Tom, if I've missed out on anything.
Yeah, thank you, Samir. I think you hit it really well. It's about building those communities. But I like to think of how we can convert fans into evangelists for cricket and for our league, and to do this together. I think that as someone who's with a strong soccer background, who saw that sport grow over the past 2 decades, it's really when you convert fans into your ambassadors for the sport that you can build those hubs and those communities around the sport and grow the participation, grow the fan base, and get that energy and excitement in each of those 21 cities and the communities around those 27 teams. So we'll be doing everything we can to reach out, support those teams and those owners. The players are our ambassadors out in those communities as well. I think you heard from all the players today how well spoken they are and how committed they are to the sport of cricket. And those of us as well who grow up with a sport that we love, we want to share it with more people, right? We want Americans to learn the game of cricket if they don't know it yet, and to appreciate it the way those of us fortunate enough to have grown up with cricket do. So spreading that across the country in each of those cities is how we do that. We couldn't do it without the support of the partners that we're welcoming and thanking today. Toyota, as the title sponsor of this championship, brings just so much legitimacy to this venture, and will help all the owners as well as they work in their local markets to secure sponsors as well. Because when a global brand like Toyota shows its support and its commitment to the sport, I think it means a lot for everybody. And the presenting sponsorship of Sling and that broadcast element as well. So important to have those foundations for the sport and build from there.
Thank you, Tom. Another question for our sponsors, for Liz and Manny, this one coming from Smith Patel. Manny, perhaps you can start and then pass over to Liz. It's been a 1-year deal that's been announced and signed between Toyota and MLC, and indeed Sling TV and MLC. How will you guys gauge the success of minor league cricket, and what sort of yardsticks will make you come back again in the future?
Very interesting question. Let me start with saying that how important the Southeast Asian community is for Toyota. Toyota, we're fortunate to be #1 brand for this community. And without their support and appreciation of our product, probably we won't be as successful as we are today. And what I'm also proud about Toyota, it's not only the great Toyota Lexus and services we provide to the area, but our commitment to the community itself. So I think a lot of it will depending on is that, how the community is engaging in this thing. It will be a long term, as Samir and team shared, that it is building blocks. You have to work towards that. So I think as this partnership grows, as the membership starts to grow, definitely those are the areas we'll be looking at it. And I would say a lot of pressure will be on the players themselves, right? Again, to keep the level high and engagement of the communities, as well as not only the fans of today, but also looking for the future fans. As it says, globally, it is the second most watched sport. And I am also excited that hopefully this will become like the IPLs of India or other parts of the world, that we see a huge membership in there. But I think it will take a little time and not jump into a quick conclusions that is success or not, right? But again, I'm sure Liz and Sling TV would have a lot more easier measurements how to do it, right?
Yeah, and I think that's fair. For us, measuring engagement is a minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day thing that we do all day long, right? So our measurement is going to be engagement. It's going to be, of the matches for the initial season, of the matches that we're streaming, what does the viewership look like? How many people are viewing? Are we seeing, any kind of a lift beyond the local market that the teams are playing in? all of these things we're going to look at. But we wouldn't be engaging in this sponsorship and in this partnership if we didn't have a really firm belief that it will work. We do spend a lot of time out in the community engaging with local audiences. And there's a very different level of excitement that happens when someone is talking about their hometown or their city, or their team. And what we're really looking forward to see is how that translates into engagement and viewership of the sport overall. So for us, we'll be looking at this in great detail and seeing what it can do in terms of our own audiences.
Thanks a million, Liz. Thank you, Manny, and thank you both again for your support. Question from Peter Della Penna for probably Justin. I think best to pick it up. The ability to produce consistently good wickets has been a major challenge over the years within the United States, whether past issues at Lauderhill or the recent scenes at Morgan Hill where sides bowled out for 45. That's going to be the home ground of the Golden State Grizzlies franchise, of course. What is going to be done to make sure the wickets will be of an acceptable standard that not only makes for competitive cricket, but also really appealing viewing for the fans on streams and on TV?
Yeah, it's a great question, Peter, and you know better than anyone, having covered it extensively. As I said earlier, our biggest challenge is infrastructure, and there's no hiding behind that, and that takes time, and that does take experts. There have been a couple of false starts, as you highlight. We are going to get things wrong. I'm not going to say we're not. What we are doing is talking to people around the world. We've got some good contacts in New Zealand, in Australia, in India, getting experts in to look at it. But there's no quick fixes. I think it's educating. And just as we're talking about player pathways, we need umpire pathways, we need curator pathways, we need match management pathways to grow the game. I mean, we're quite happy with what we've seen the last few weeks in these wickets. I wish I could guarantee you, Pete, 200 every match and consistent wickets. We're going to do our best, and we're going to keep learning.
Thank you very much. And I think he'd just like to get a sense from Sarah. Sarah, I think if you're still with us, the same sort of question. You're obviously looking for good wickets as a player. That's going to be your home franchise, your home team. You'll be looking for the wickets to be as good as possible to play in high-scoring contests.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the progression, I think the wickets have gotten better since last year as well. And it's like Justin says, it's a continuation process where it's going to keep improving day by day. And yeah, I mean, it'll keep getting better. And there are sporting wickets. I think the Morgan Hill pitch played quite well. Yeah, nothing much to say. It's good sporting wickets, and it'll keep getting better day by day.
Thank you very much. The next question, Justin, again, perhaps you might be able to pick this up. This is from Paul Radley in the National, in the United Arab Emirates. He's just wanting to know how difficult is it being logistically to organise a tournament like this during the pandemic with the COVID times that we live in?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Anyone who's worked on a tournament knows there's never enough time. So yeah, glass is half full. Thankful for the time. It's allowed us to take a bit more in our planning and our governance. It has been really hard working remotely, like everyone's experienced, doing something for the first time from scratch. But I think we're better because of what we learned last year. And I'm going to keep saying this is the start of a big journey, and we're learning every day. So the time has been good. In terms of moving forward, obviously safety is the biggest thing for our stakeholders. That's players, umpires, volunteers. So we're going to continue to follow local conditions here. We're going to, follow local governments. We're going to, if it's safe, get vaccinated. We're going to do all we can to make sure that this is the most successful possible tournament we can have.
Thank you very much. Last couple of minutes, guys. Any final questions, please get them in on text. And for the journalists asking, we will provide a recording of this for those who'd like to be able to transcribe quotes, etc. Samir or Vijay, perhaps you could pick this one up from Tim Wigmore, The Telegraph in the United Kingdom. He's wanting to know, how is this tournament going to differ from other tournaments that have previously taken place in the United States? How will it be more legitimate? And what's the prize money that will sort of guarantee that legitimacy for this tournament?
Yeah, tournaments that have happened in the US in the past have typically been, 6 teams traveling into one location for a week and then dispersing, or 15 teams traveling into a city for a long weekend, 4 days, and then dispersing. And teams just picked openly, which means basically anybody can play. Any international, the owner's son can play, relatives can play. There's never been a national tournament with a firm set of rules spread across these many locations, played across a fairly significant time frame. And of course, absolutely blessed by USA Cricket as a legitimate pathway into the national teams, blessed by Major League Cricket as the only pathway into the into the Major League, and so on. So this is the foundational pathway tournament organized at this scale that has not been done in the US before. I think the last I remember is, maybe 6 or 8 different locations where tournaments were played over a span of maybe 10 days. I mean, and this, I'm trying to go back 20, 30 years. So, 27 teams, 21 locations, 8 weeks, it's just never been done before. And we got a sample of it last year. We were able to pull it off even during COVID times. Very, very confident of doing a good job this year. The prize money is 250,000. That's total prize money. We'll announce the breakup between the national winner and the divisional winners. Prize money does not give it legitimacy, but it does give it something to aspire for. But players are mainly playing for pride. They're mainly playing to represent their cities, mainly playing because it's a pathway tournament. It's the way to advance their careers and become professional. Prize money is just icing on the cake. Thanks. Vijay, if there's anything I might have missed out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add to that in terms of, just the legitimacy aspect. I think it's evident on this press conference through our partners. These are world-class brands, Toyota, Sling. It's just, the way we are approaching this, along with it being a national platform, is, just the way the approach we've taken to it. It's, we've been working with USA Cricket right from the beginning. They are our partners in this. It's an exclusively sanctioned USA Cricket event. We've got a world-class organizing team led by Justin and his team who've delivered tournaments of much larger scale than this and much higher profile. And so, that gives us the confidence that we'll deliver a world-class event. And just having Sling and Toyota on board just proves the commitment that we have from these brands and these partners from day one. So, I think the approach that we are taking to this is very different, like Samir said, from other tournaments that have preceded this. And, our ambitions are much higher in some sense, and we are building a platform, and, hopefully this leads to an even bigger platform in Major League Cricket.
I think that's a lovely way to wrap things up. And I was told implicitly that this can't run longer than an hour. So at this point, I'm going to have to end proceedings. I know there's other questions that are following up. What we will do, Tom and myself will directly follow up with the journalists who are asking those questions. I know they're very specifically to some of our panelists here today. So I'd like to thank all of the journalists, all the media from right the way around the world for attending, all of our panelists, particularly our new sponsors, Manny Banzi, the Vice President of Toyota Logistics Services for Toyota Motor North America, and Liz Remersma, the Vice President of Sling TV International Programming. And that's going to wrap it up for this press conference. 21 cities, 27 teams, over 200 matches, the most ambitious and largest cricket tournament to ever take place in North America. It's a new era for the sport, for the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sling TV. It's going to be from July 31st through October 3rd. This summer, cricket is coming all the way around America. For me, Andrew Leonard, I want to thank you all for your attendance. For everyone here, on behalf of Major League Cricket, for Toyota, for Sling TV, for USA Cricket, we'd like to pay sincere thanks to you, and we look forward to you supporting the tournament throughout the summer.